Hello everyone, my name is Apurva Sarkar. My ID is 2321529. Today I will describe static routing in computer networks. Now let's start with a brief introduction. Static routing is one of the simplest form of routing where routers are manually configured by the network administrator. Its often used is simpler and stable networks. Now I explain about the brain of network. Routers are like the brain of network. They decide where the goes based on routing tables. In static routing, we manually define those routers, give as a control and complete over the path and data takes. Now I say that why it's used and why is avoid. Static routing is the great for simple predictable networks. It's secure and does not consume CPU or bandwidth for the router updates. However, it does not scale well. In large or dynamic networks, managing static routers becomes difficult and risky. So, I will also explore static routing using Cisco Packet Tracer. In the demo, I manually set up the routers between routers, ensuring that the data packets follow the right path. This helps visualize how static routing works in a real network scenario. First, we need to draw a network diagram. For example, I will create a simple diagram with two routers and two switch. Each switch is connected to device. Now we will configure static routing. To do that, we first click on the router, go to the router routing tab and turn on the routing features. In configuration, we have to assign an IP address to the gateway interface. Usually the port is 00 and in the 10 port we assign the public IP address. This is how we configure the first router using the public network. Then we move on to the second router and configure it in the same way as the first one. Next, we assign IP address to the device. To do that, click on device. Go to the desktop tab and then to IP configuration. There we will see a file for the IP address. We assign an IP from the private network range such as 190.168.0 dot something else, and the subnet mask will be auto-generate, and for the default gateway we use the IP address of the router one that is the device is connected to. Okay, then I should the configuration. Then we repeat the same process for the other devices as well. So see, now comes the main part of static routing configuration. We click on the router, go to the configure tab and under static, we add a new router. We provide the network address of the destination network we want to reach, the subnet mask and the next hop, which is the IP address of the next router's interface connect to our current router. Then we click add. In the same way, we configure the second router for the static routing. Then finally, we test the network first. We check if the devices in the same private network can communicate with each other. Then we check if device from the one network can access device in the other network. If everything is configured properly, we will get a successful reply. Now its conclusion. In conclusion, static routing is the best of small and stable networks. It offers simplicity, security, and control, but at the cost is flexibility. For large networks, dynamic routing is usually preferred.